Welcome dear students. So students, today we will learn a new lesson in Environmental Studies Part 2 subject. So the lesson name is lesson number 15, a memorable ceremony. Now my dear children, let us see in this lesson what is the memorable ceremony that is going to take place in the life of the Maratha lion Shivaji Maharaj. Now let us look at the first point, why did Shivaji have himself crowned? Now children, as we all know that in the previous lessons we have seen that Shivaji along with his Mawla friends had gone to the temple of Raireshwar and he took an oath to establish Swaraj over there at a very young age. Now his decision was firm and he moved ahead with great courage and skill. Right from his childhood, we know that Shivaji was very much interested in his tasks, and somehow he wanted to accomplish this task with establishing his Swaraj. He was surrounded by the enemies like the Mughal Emperor of Delhi, Sultan Adil Shah of Bijapur, the Portuguese of Goa, and Sidi of Janjira. They have arms and ammunitions that Shivaji, with his limited swords and the poor Mawlas, was determined to establish Swaraj. He was helped by the great men like Baji Prabhu, Murar Baji, Tanaji. These were the people who fought bravely and shed their blood for the establishment of Swaraj. Now Shivaji had conquered a number of forts, one fort after the other. Thereby he had created a new kingdom. It was respected and feared. Now once he had a huge kingdom, he wanted everyone to know about his kingdom to all the people around other princes in the land, big and small. So he said, I will have myself crowned. What is the meaning of this? He wanted to declare himself as a king to all the people around, and for this task he was full of plan. Now what did he wanted to do? He called all the people because he wanted to make everyone aware of his coronation. Now after hundred of years, a king was born in Maharashtra. He was a person who would treat all the religions equally and he gave justice to all of his people. All of his people were happy with him. Once Swaraj is to be established, and it was firmly established. Now he did crown himself because he wanted to show that he was great or because he was happy that he has established so many kingdoms, not for self glorification, but he wanted to have a newly founded Swaraj on a firm footing. Now, children, let us look at the second point, that is the capital of Swaraj. Now, Shivaji is about to be crowned. All preparations were supposed to be taken as a part of this preparation. Shivaji first selected a suitable capital for his kingdom. Then Raigad was selected for the same. Now why did Shivaji selected Raigad, children? Because Raigad was selected because it was a strong hill fort, and since it was a hill fort, it was easy to administer. You can keep watch on all the enemies who is coming, who is going. And so Shivaji decided Raigad as the capital of his kingdom. Shivaji Raje inspected his troops at Chiplun. Now troops means his army, and he also visited Pratapgarh and he went there and he took darshan of goddess Bhavani. Now we have learnt in the previous lessons where he went to Lord Bhavani, he already got a pot full of mohurs as a gift from goddess Bhavani. He was very happy and he used this money to buy arms and ammunition and also to build a fort which was left half built. That is the fort of Muramdev. Now this goddess Bhavani was his favorite, so he also made a golden canopy for the goddess. Now children, let's move to the next point, that is the preparation for the coronation. Now what is coronation? Coronation is a ceremony to crown a king, to declare a person as a king. Then, when he has to declare as a king, what do we do? He ordered for a golden throne. You all know that the king sits on a throne and it was studded with precious stones. That means all over the throne there were precious stones, and a white royal umbrella was put over the throne, and there was an invitations to the coronation which was prepared, which have to be given for the coronation. They sent this invitation to the prince and kings, learned Brahmins, and all the sardars and even other officers as well. Now, Gaga Bhatt, who was a very learned scholar, he was very respected in Varanasi. Actually, he belonged to the place called Paithan, but now he has settled down there in Varanasi. So he was also invited as a chief priest at the ceremony. Shivaji Maharaj made all the detailed preparations for the coronation. Now men were sent out to bring waters from the 7 rivers and the sea. Nearly 50,000 people gathered at Raigad to accommodate the guests. Could be seen everywhere. Small tents, big tents, spacious samianas were made arrangement of. Okay, so that means Shivaji Maharaj had made arrangement of all these things, that is the small tents, big tents, spacious shamianas, so that the people can stay there. Now moving to the next point, that is the coronation ceremony. Now the coronation day dawned. It was very special day, an auspicious day. You must have seen what and how a coronation ceremony is done. In movies, recently in the movie Bahubali, you must have seen when king is crowned, what was happening. You get picturized much things as similar to that, wherein musicians play on their instruments, singers began to sing, music and singing filled the air. There was an atmosphere of joy everywhere. Shivaji Raje sat on a golden seat in full regalia. A canopy, that is chhatra, and the fans, that is chamare, were held over his head. There were priests, each one carrying vessels of ghee, dahi, and honey. Gaga Bhatt himself carried a gold vessel filled with the waters of the 7 rivers, that is Ganga, Sindhu, Yamuna, Godavari, Krishna, Narmada, and Kaveri, and of the sea. Gaga Bhatt held the vessel over Shivaji's head and started reciting the coronation mantras. From 100 tiny holes in the vessel, water started dripping down on Shivaji's head. After ablution, ablution means children act of washing. Okay. So after ablution by the sacred waters, Shivaji Maharaj got up and bowed before Jijamata and touched her feet. Jijamata held him in close embrace. Her eyes were filled with tears of joy. Her 30 years' efforts had at last borne fruit. The dream she had nursed even before Shivaji's birth had at last come true. So that's why the tears were there in Jijamata's eyes. The tears in her eyes were tears of joy and fulfillment. Shivaji Maharaj was also deeply moved. Glory be to both of them. After meeting Ma Sahib, Shivaji Maharaj sat on the throne. Maharani Soirabai, wife of Shivaji Maharaj, that is Maharani Soirabai and the crown prince Shambhaji Raje sat next to him. His 8 ministers stood on either side of the Shivaji Maharaj, where Shivaji Maharaj was sitting. They were sitting on the other side of that. Gagabad held the canopy lined with gold and pearl tassels over his head and said, "Victory be to Shiva Chhatrapati, now crowned king, the ornament of the race of warriors." Everyone present followed suit and in one voice wished victory to Shivaji Maharaj. Guns were fired from fort after fort. The whole of Maharashtra echoed with one voice, "Shivaji Maharaj ki Jai." Shivaji's coronation took place in 1674. From that year, Shivaji Maharaj started a new calendar, the coronation calendar. He became a great king like those in whose name people start a new era. He struck his own coins. Some foreign envoys were present at the coronation. The English had sent their envoy Occident. Envoy Occident means their representative. Okay, they sent their representatives with valuable presents. So they were also present in the coronation ceremony. Subjects from far off areas and places had also come to see this ceremony. The whole world came to know of the big event. Shivaji's fame spread everywhere. At last, the hard work and dedication and love for the people had really brought fruits in form of establishing self into a firm kingdom. So that's all, children. I hope you all have understood this lesson. Thank you, children.